Throughout the 1960s, Colombia experienced a huge cultural renaissance with significant developments in music in particular. At the forefront of this revolution was Delia Zapata Olivella, an adored dance choreographer who played a significant role in promoting Colombia's traditional dance scene. Traditional regional dances across both the Pacific and Caribbean coast would form the foundation of her innovative teaching methods, which would then be published in manuals made available at the many performances she directed, which toured both nationally and internationally. Her legacy has been recognized and upheld to this day via her foundation, the Fundación Instituto Folclórico Colombiano, which continues to promote the country's many folkloric traditions through dance. One of Delia's dancers also developed her own solo career as a musician. Leonor González Mina was known for her wide musical repertoire, spanning many genres such as cumbia, bambuco, and bolero across more than 30 albums. Her seamless stylistic crossover was indicative of a broader movement at the time that could be described as a musical cultural melting pot. Many distinct African, indigenous, and Spanish musical traditions began to emerge in a number of genres known collectively as tropical music. This included cumbia, vallenato, salsa, and porro. Although not all of these genres were new, or even originated in Colombia, their revitalization during this decade injected new life into them as they saw a surge in popularity throughout the nation. One of the key aspects that gave rise to this tropical music were the local record labels such as Disco Fuentes and Sonolux. These labels were pivotal in spreading Colombian music not just domestically but internationally as well. They were also highly respected for their cutting-edge studio infrastructure, which launched the careers of numerous up-and-coming artists. Such technology included multi-track recording, magnetic tape, and a rudimentary synthesizer known as the Solovox, all of which would have a huge influence on the soundscape of the time. Meanwhile, beyond music, Colombian cinema and television would also experience a modest revival throughout the decade. Social realism and documentary-style features would soon become popular among experimental filmmakers, while an increase in television ownership would see a rise in local telenovelas, along with imported entertainment, signaling a shift to global mass media consumption. Those without TVs, meanwhile, would often find entertainment in radioteatros, essentially radio soap operas. Another cultural evolution throughout the 60s could be found in fashion. Urban youth in particular would begin to take influence from global fashion trends, including bold new clothing choices such as miniskirts, bell-bottoms, and patterned fabrics. Equally prominent were the new hairstyles of the time. Before long, young men would begin to sport longer cuts, while women experimented with bouffants. As far as literature went, easily the most famous work to come out of Colombia this decade, and arguably ever, was Gabriel Garcia Marquez's 1967 novel Cien Años de Soledad, or 100 Years of Solitude. The novel popularized magical realism, a literary genre and artistic style that depicts the everyday ordinary alongside the surreal and miraculous, but notably treats its fantastical elements as normal and routine within the story's world. This genre would be utilized to varying extents by other Colombian novelists as well, such as Manuel Zapata Olivella and Alvaro Cepeda Zamudio. As for Cien Años de Soledad, Marquez's novel would tell a multi-generational story of the Buendia family and the evolution of their fictional town, Macondo. There's a strong focus on the cyclical nature of their existence, with each new generation being drawn by fate to make the same decisions and repeat the same mistakes as their ancestors, even if the situational context may vary. These themes were largely inspired by the real-life rises and falls of humanity in Colombia throughout the ages, capturing this history in the microcosm of a single family and their local community. The novel was met with huge success, pushing Latin American literature in general into the global spotlight, and even netting Marquez a Nobel Prize 15 years later. Today, the book has sold around 30 million copies and has been translated into almost 40 languages. Its popularity and profound narrative has cemented it as one of the most iconic novels in the world over the last century, making the book a significant source of creative influence for many stories since. On a more serious note, Colombia's Catholic Church also experienced a significant evolution throughout the 60s, as influenced by the Second Vatican Council. Pope John XXIII, who'd assumed a position in this decade, called for a revolution in the Church's advocacy of marginalized communities. This firm stance was received loud and clear in Colombia, who would begin to re-evaluate their view of the Bible, now interpreting it from the perspective of the poor, arguing that salvation was not limited to spiritual transformation, but also required an active approach to social, political, and economic liberation from systems of oppression. This movement, which swept the continent, was known as liberation theology. Through this, priests and religious figures soon became far more active in the promotion of social equality, human rights, labour reforms, and support for grassroots political transformation. Although many of these values are grounded in biblical teachings, it would however soon become apparent that liberation theology was causing a severe swing towards liberal radicalization. Some clergy members had even gone as far as to join violent guerrilla movements such as the ELN. Ultimately, this radical liberal transformation of the church would cause it to become a strong target during periods of political unrest, with its vested political influence seen as a threat by those who oppose these ideologies.